The concept of acculturation is used to describe what happens when two or more different cultures interact, and the process of adopting the cultural traits or social patterns of another group. The challenge that teachers in schools face is that there is a balance between teaching the youth about mainstream American culture and pressuring the minority student to give up their own culture and heritage. There is a natural tension between the idea of assimilation to make social interaction easier for all groups and valuing diversity and encouraging inclusion that values differences. A big part of that debate revolves around the idea of English as an official language and mandating that the child be taught English or encouraging bilingual education. This issue is hotly debated. In bilingual classrooms, students progress and develop a firmer grasp of reading in their own languages, and as they grow more proficient in English, they begin receiving instruction for subjects such as math and science in sheltered English classes. These classes act as bridges between courses taught in their primary language and mainstream English language classes. The goal of bilingual education programs is not for students to retain fluency in their native language, but to transition into mainstream classrooms where their language is not used. On the other side of the coin is what's known as immersion classes, where students are taught only in English and are expected to adapt to the method of instruction. Tracking is another issue which appears to have impact on the achievement gap. This practice has been in effect for a long time, for many decades. Tracking sorts school children into different tracks based on assessments. It's used to assure that students are put into classrooms that can offer the appropriate level of instruction. It makes sense to some extent to tailor the level of instruction to the level of the student's ability. However, schools that utilize tracking tend to have greater within-school achievement gaps, meaning that the minority students in those schools tend to underperform to even a greater degree. Teachers tend to recommend white students more often for advanced placement classes when the students are tracked. Minority students in these schools also tend to be placed more often in vocational rather than college prep courses. There is a gap in the achievements between whites and non-whites in post-secondary schools as well. Many first-generation college students are non-white. Studies show that first-generation college students who are very well academically prepared in high school are less likely to enroll in a four-year institution than students whose parents have graduated from four-year schools. Economic factors often are an issue too. Not only the cost of school, but also financial obligations a young person may feel to help with the family's cost of living expenses. One study showed that 74% of Latinas that did not complete college did so because they felt they had to work to help with financial obligations towards their family. There is a wide disparity of graduation rates from high schools and colleges between the different racial and ethnic groups. This chart shows the differences in the percentage of students who complete a 4-year bachelor's program within 4 years of starting college. Several remedies to our beleaguered school systems are routinely suggested from the researchers that consider these issues. First, our schools should look to successful interracial schools as models and increase the number of these schools across the United States. Second, our schools should improve outdated integration practices. Rather than integrating a single non-white group into a school in which the majority of students are white, schools should develop plans that would achieve a truly multiracial school population. Third, our schools should continue to champion integration, expanding it where possible, and support education leaders who are committed to addressing and correcting the inequalities experienced by segregated schools. Institutionalized racism within our school is something that needs to be addressed in order to properly serve our non-white students and provide equal access to an equal education for all our children. One model that is considered the leader in improving education of disadvantaged students is the Puente Project. It began in 1981, and its goal is to increase the number of educationally disadvantaged students enrolling in colleges through offering college preparatory courses in high school. The USC Neighborhood Academic Initiative is another college preparatory program that is focused on getting more disadvantaged students into the University of Southern California schools. This program has a focus on parental involvement and also assists students with scholarships. Black colleges provide support and culturally appropriate perspectives on Black history and provide more African American teachers so the students have role models that they can relate to. Tribal schools focus on issues that are relevant to Native American young adults, things like water scarcity, alternative energy, and economic development at the community level. Go to the Source is a study that considers the needs of non-white students in higher education and the need for programs within the university that would diminish, if not eliminate, the culture of racisms and develop more cultural awareness of non-white students.